Well, good evening, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to our Friday, July the 14th show. I don't know where you are living or where you are in the world, but it has to be hot, okay? I mean, today was probably one of the worst days that I have felt in a long time with it being this hot. But we have made it through, and we're back with you another night. Um, let me see. Let me see. First of all, I know you all know this, but the queen bee has descended upon North America. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Beyonce is here in the U.S. and she has kicked her tour off, the Renaissance tour. She was just in Philadelphia last night, I think. And I mean, the buzz is out there. And I hear that the show is fantastic. She's going to be in D.C. in August, 5th and 6th, I think. And maybe there's another date, but I definitely know the 5th and the 6th. So Beehive, get ready, baby, because she is on her way. All right. And speaking of something that's on its way, your chance to win big in the Powerball and the Mega Million. The Powerball tonight is $875 million with a cash out of 452 million, 0.2 million, as if that 0.2 means anything. And the Mega Millions is $560 million with a cash out of $287 million. And that drawing is tonight at 11 o'clock. What is the first thing that you guys would do if you won the money? You know, you can go ahead and if you're on, go ahead and click that in the comments section. But, you know, what is the first thing you would do if you would win the money? I would definitely disappear. You all would not hear from me for a minute. I will stop doing the show. I just, some of you all would be like, where's Alvin? That's it right there. All right. Also, one of my favorite restaurants in Washington, D.C. won a Grammy Award. Just a minute. Before we get to that, I'm sorry about that. Before we get to this next slide, if I can ask my producer to take this down for a minute. I snuck this one in here, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite restaurants won a Grammy Award. The Grammy Award is a prestigious award that's presented to members of the restaurant and food and beverage industry in the metropolitan Washington area. And my favorite restaurant is Penny Royal Station. They won an award for Best Casual Restaurant, ladies and gentlemen. So you've heard me talk about Penny Royal Station. Please go. It is amazing, Black-owned and operated restaurant, and I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. All right. So if you win the Mega Millions or the Powerball, treat yourself to a nice dinner at Penny Royal Station and take a trip. But first go through BWI Airport because their restrooms have just been nominated as one of the top 10 restrooms in the world in airports. Okay, who knew that there was a competition for best looking restrooms in airports? Personally, I'm a restaurant. I mean, a restroom snob. When I go to establishments, I pretty much judge them by how well they keep their restaurants. So kudos to BWI. I hope you win. It looks like it's a beautiful restroom. I haven't flown out of that airport in a long time, but who knows? I might just do that. And before I bring on my co-host, I wanted to kind of recap something that we did last week when Bobby had mentioned that the question was, do you feel American? And it was in honor of the 4th of July and Juneteenth holidays. And Bobby said he wished that more could be done to celebrate Juneteenth. And so I kind of went back and did some research on it. Well, I found out that a woman by the name of Opal Lee, she is the grandmother of Juneteenth. Miss Lee grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and Opal knew the history of Juneteenth, but she soon discovered that many Americans had never heard of the holiday. So in 2016, at the age of 89, she retired. The retired school teacher and longtime community activist took up the cause by elevating Juneteenth as a federal holiday. And guess what? She succeeded. Okay. There is a book out about Opal Lee. It's called Opal Lee and What It Means to Be Free. Words by author Alice Faye Duncan. And it just inspires, it brings Black joy and inspires children to see their dreams blossom. But lastly, Opal's portrait will be in the portrait gallery, in the National Portrait Gallery sometime this year. Please, for those of you who visit the portrait gallery, check and see when she is going to be there. But that was, I thought, something that I wanted to just mention, that Bobby had brought up. And he's not here with us today. You'll find that out. But I just wanted to say that, some folks are doing something, and we're trying to bring Juneteenth to life. So, all right, let's get on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. If I can't, like I said, Bobby's not here, so let's bring him a co-host. Oh, see,
I was very little. Now I'm big.
we didn't even have our little chat. I was like, look, Vash is backstage. Bring Vash up in here. How you doing, man?
Hey, Alvin. I am doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling so kind of pumped up. Do I feel like I'm pumped up? I feel like I'm pumped up.
You look fantastic in your red with the booming glasses.
Oh, thank you.
And we have room. That's what it is. We are not squished.
No, you didn't say squished.
Yes.
No, you didn't. No, you
yes.
didn't. No, you
It's
said...
just the two of us. Yes.
And speaking of that, this week's show is called Two Steps. Okay. And we did that because with Bobby not being here, we just have to we have to pick up the beat because he is such an integral piece of this trio, but he's not here. So Bobby, we're taking 2 steps and we hope that that we're doing it good. So whenever one of us is not here, the show is going to be called 2 Steps. All right. That's called picking up the slack. Is that okay, Bob? Is that okay?
That's okay. I love it.
We had some other names we were going to use, but we decided to use.
I like 2-step. I think it's a good groove, and it puts a little kick in you. Like it makes you want to just like bop, give it a little 2-step.
Okay. Well, I got something else that's gonna make you want to bop and kick. I don't know if you heard about this, but Burger King is causing a stir in Thailand with its new offering, a burger with no meat and jaw-dropping amount of cheese. Okay. 20 slices of American cheese on a bun, okay? And it's only being sold in Thailand and it is selling out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, is this not like
yeah, that is not appealing at all. First of all, that is not real cheese. Second of all, that is just going to clog you up. You are just going to be bent over for like days. No. I don't care. And you got to go to another country to get it when you could be eating real food from their country versus that. No.
Well, but also think about it too. First of all, hey Monica, thank you for joining the show tonight. Think about, hey Rodney, that can we put that back up there? Please, our producer, can we put that sandwich back up there for a minute? That is 20 slices of cheese on a bun, okay? And it's being sold in Thailand at Burger King. And it's making its way to the United States. I mean, typically, folks that live in Thailand, they're a lot slimmer than we are. I don't think this is a good meal for Americans at all.
We are going to track the weight and health of the people of Thailand from the introduction of this sandwich for at least 2 years to see what happens to them. I'm telling you, if I'm going to Thailand, I'm getting some good Thai food. It is going to come with the peanut sauce and be on a skewer.
Thank you. Hey, Kendall, thanks for joining the show, man. All right, yeah, I just had to let you know that because I thought that was a moment for me.
Would you eat it?
That would be a no.
Okay. I mean, I would endorse it if they gave me some money, but right now I'm no.
I don't even want to look at it because right now it gave me,
bubble guts.
It made my stomach start doing stuff. But
yeah.
Anyway, no, I would not eat it.
No, I would not. If I saw you with it, I would make you stop. But
I'm sure you will.
The funny thing is, we could actually use it to keep track of what's going on with the heat. Like you just put that sandwich on your windowsill. If the cheese melts, you know that we are having another heat wave. I'm over the heat wave.
That is so nasty.
Millions of Americans are being impacted by this extreme heat waves that are going on. I think we're in the middle of another one. They are
Yeah,
growing in intensity, and they're growing in frequency, and they are growing in duration.
yeah,
All of this we know is because of climate change,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
In
yeah.
June alone, heat waves broke records across the country. Puerto Rico experienced its hottest month in over 120 years, and Texas recorded its top 19 hottest days ever in recorded history.
Mhm. It is really extreme. And I mean, I live in DC where I've seen some hot moments,
Mm-hmm.
but yesterday when I came home from work, I went into the office and I take pride in my beautiful little plants on the porch.
Right.
They were practically leaning toward me when I parked my car, saying, "If you don't get up here and put some water in me,"
Gasping for
I
water,
say,
right?
"Yes, me for water." And I swear I watered them the day before. But yeah, it is
It's a lot. It's
yeah,
a
it,
lot.
it is it is very hot. So you guys please take care of yourself because it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
really crazy. It's really
Parts of
crazy.
Michigan and New York and Vermont also broke their daily temperature records. And in the first 6 months of 2023, there have been 12 individual $1 billion weather and climate events across the country. I mean, I truly think that the scales have tipped in
Yeah,
terms of what the weather is going to be doing,
yeah.
and it's only going to get worse year after year. Our government seems to be split. One side of the aisle is trying to do something about climate change. The
Mhm.
other side is not even acknowledging that there is a climate issue or a climate crisis. So, y'all, as you take issues into your own hands, if you need to check the air quality in your location, you can always visit airnow.gov. It'll tell you what's going on in your air quality. I mean, after all the fires that we had up in Canada that destroyed air quality for a couple of weeks here in the States, if you're wondering about what's going on with the temperature, with air quality, it is airnow.gov. And I believe that we will put that into our chat for your records because we want to keep you safe and healthy.
Yeah, and you mentioned Vermont. Vermont is experiencing and has been overwhelmed by catastrophic flooding incident actually that they were not expecting. And President Joe Biden has declared a state of emergency in Vermont, where torrential rainfall has
Wow.
triggered historic, I mean, as I said, catastrophic flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Governor Phil Scott said some areas recorded 9 inches of rain, as small creeks actually. Look at this. Creeks turned into raging rivers in the worst flooding to hit Vermont since Tropical Storm Irene in 2011. Can you imagine?
So I went to Vermont. A good friend of mine has a good friend who lives in Vermont. And we were driving around to get there, and we saw a river and where the water level rose during Irene. And it was crazy. So to think that this is worse than that, I mean, we have to wake up. There's a lot of stuff going on the planet with water.
Well, do you know if I know that happened in 2011, and that was catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do, or has our climate changed so bad that it has, kind of upped the ante on whatever they did to prevent this from happening again? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So it makes me wonder what did they do to prevent it from happening again?
Well, the thing is, when there are floods and they see where the water's flowing, they can then put up barriers to keep the water contained. What that's going to do is then either push the water someplace else or the water ends up going someplace else. So they're being reactive to the flow of water versus being able to be proactive and guide it because they, in some cases, don't know where it's going to end up overflowing into. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, and it what really makes sense is that I need to stay my behind in DC. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Higher ground. The
Higher
key is
ground.
higher
Okay.
ground.
Because
Right?
this is like, I mean, to have to think about, living next to a river or,
Mhm.
or something like that, and the possibility of everything just water is a awful evil thing. You think fire is evil, which it is, but water is like devastating. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
It is just
wily.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Hi,
it's really
Tammy.
crazy. Hey Tammy. Oh, and hey Blue. Thanks for joining us. What did Rodney say here? He said actually
He
oh
loves the heat and humidity and would enjoy it more along the Mediterranean. Yes,
oh
darling.
I
Yes,
know
we
that's
would.
right. Okay,
With
and
après spritzes and
I'm gonna
everything.
sip to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna
Yes,
say
indeed.
once again, hi Tammy. So
Yes,
yeah, but I
indeed.
mean, but it's not only happening in on this side of the world. The West Coast is actually being hit very hard as well. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and it's causing a different kind of damage, right?
Mhm.
So currently, as of I think either today or yesterday, there are now 17 homes in the Rolling Hill Estates community in Southern California that have been evacuated and homes have been tagged. So earlier this week, 5 additional homes were red tagged by the Los Angeles County Fire Department. The earth continues to give way beneath these houses, and it's putting them at greater risk of sliding into the canyons below. I mean, these pictures are pretty horrific. People have lost almost everything. And you would think that there'd be lots of sympathy for these people.
Mhm.
But this Wednesday, just 2 days ago, 2 people were arrested for attempting to burglarize the vacated landslide homes. Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine. And from what our producer told us earlier, he said that these people were watching their homes be demolished. They were looking at the TV.
Well, they've had to because once they were red tagged, and in some cases, people were only given like maybe 20 minutes. They're like, look, you have 20 minutes to run into your house and grab what is important to you because after that, we cannot allow you to go in. It's just not safe. So, it's they then had to go and watch the coverage on the news. If you were given 20 minutes to run inside your house,
Mhm.
what would you take?
What would I take? I
Mm-hmm.
would probably grab my briefcase. And
Okay.
and and here's why. I keep all of my I keep my wallet and everything. I keep everything in a place.
Okay. Right.
And so I would grab my briefcase because it has all of my identification in my wallet and things that I can call, and even my mobile phone. For some reason, I keep it with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. So I would grab that, but then I would grab my briefcase and I would run out the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about you?
I don't know. I think I would like to grab some snacks. Um, I don't know. I would really have to think about it. I mean, clearly, I would want to grab some paperworks, right? But I tend to keep a lot of things on the cloud just so that no matter what happens, I can always access them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would probably grab my computer. Um,
And
yeah,
how
I'd
many
have to
minutes
give it
did
some
you
thought.
have?
20, if I had 20 minutes.
Wait, no, you said 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought you said 20 seconds.
No, sweetie, 20 minutes. Like, it's not enough time to make a sandwich.
Oh
But
hell. Okay,
it
I retract that. There's a couple of other things that I would grab too, but definitely what I told you. I thought you
yeah, for
said 20
sure.
seconds.
No,
Okay.
20 minutes. 20 minutes. You had 20 minutes. That's
Oh,
still
okay.
not a lot of time. I
It,
mean,
it's it's not, but I work in fashion. So you know what?
I know, right? Like,
In 60 seconds, you need to be in a whole different outfit, some wigs,
yes.
shoes, everything, and back out on that, back out on that runway. So I'm used to fast changes. But um, speaking of the climate change, I just got a notification from our producer, Courtney, who said that it is snowing in South Africa.
What?
Right? She said it is snowing in South Africa. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? Yes. She said it's
Wow.
even snowing in South Africa. So it's crazy. But yeah, no, Vash, I definitely would, there's a couple of other things but for the sake of time, I won't tell you everything, but I could do some damage. Shit, I could have a U-Haul full in 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes, you're hilarious. You're like, take the bedroom set. No, bring it.
Yeah, I could, and with a little bit of help, I could do some damage. But while we're here, also, talking about climate change and this oppressive heat, I want to remind everybody, especially people who have kids, to be mindful to not leave your kids, your children, and your pets in cars, particularly during these heat waves. Because as the current heat wave continues and temperatures, near 100 degrees every day, and they're predicted through the next few weeks, AAA is reminding motorists about the dangers of leaving children and pets in a hot car. And according to the National Highway and Traffic Administration, more than 900 children have died of heat stroke in the last 25 years after being left or trapped in a vehicle in just 10 minutes. And the temperature inside of a vehicle can heat up by 20 degrees and become deadly. So, I know it can happen. I don't know how some people leave their kids in the car and go to work and forget all day. But I know it happens. But please be mindful not to do that. And that happens so often. You have no idea, Vash, how often people leave their kids in the car because they're busy. And they go to work all day and then realize when they get back to the car, their child is in there dead.
That's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot to be that busy that you would forget your child, and it's a lot to come back and to see your child no longer with you.
I have said it for years that is one of the hardest things that I think that I have to wrap my arms around. And again, I don't have children, but my neighbors and people who know me know that I used to take care of my pets better than they used to tell me. I took care of my pets better than some people take care of their kids. And that's even strapping them in the car in a doggy seat when I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? So to leave your child in the car, and I don't mean to be insensitive to anybody who, if you're listening and you've done it, I'm not shaming you at all. That's really hard for me to wrap my hands around.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. So bless their hearts. And it's hot. It's hot. So
it's hot. It's Spike Lee hot.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. This is what it's looking like in South Africa.
Wait, really? What? What? That's crazy. Is this the first time ever that it snowed in South Africa?
I've never been, so I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I've never been to South Africa, but I don't know.
Incredible. And to have it sticking, because we know that it has to be very cold in order for the snow to stick.
Yeah. But the giraffes are cute. And that was for you, George. George is on here. George is a lover of giraffes. I know him very well. And I know he's probably tickled pink wherever he is right now, looking at those giraffes. And ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, that wasn't what we were just talking about is not even the top story.
I know, right?
That's not even the top story. We just wanted to tickle you all fancy, let y'all know what's been on our mind, and I'm sure it's been on you all's too. So yeah, but it's a lot going on. But keep cool and be safe and hydrate. All right.
Shoot, don't be as cold or cool as South Africa because they got snow. That just blows me away. I am just so sorry. Anyway, to just get to some of the top stories that are happening here and that are affecting us, y'all, for the first time since the 1980s, the SAG-AFTRA union has decided that they are going to go on strike. They are joining the Writers Guild of America, who are also on strike, and together they are shutting down Hollywood. The actors are negotiating for basically the same exact things that the writers are striking for, which ultimately comes down to better pay from the streaming services and activities that are going on. Again, you've got all of these great programs that are being represented by the likes of, Netflix and Amazon, etc., but they are not paying actors and the writers.
Mm.
Middle-class actors are talking about how they are not able to survive any longer. And forget about background actors. There was a time in Hollywood where background actors were able to sustain a good life, buy a car, buy a home, etc., from doing extra work. Now they can't. They absolutely cannot. And now working actors, series regulars are saying that they are not able to sustain their lives because of what is coming down from these streaming services pays. The SAG-AFTRA president, Fran Drescher, said after it was clear that the negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers were going nowhere, she had to call for the strike. How long the strike will last, no one really knows, but you know that we're going to keep you informed of all that's going on, because these actors and writers really do need our help, and we need their content, because none of us would have made it through COVID without good entertainment.
Hallelujah. Wow. A couple of things. Like I said, last week, you enlightened me to so many things that was happening. You being in the industry yourself, and knowing, what's going on. Um, One thing that I did hear was that some of the actors and the writers who are striking have said, in solidarity of what they're
Mm-hmm.
going through, asking us folks who own these apps to get rid of your apps, to cancel your subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the news uh, programs here did a kind of a survey and said, would you, do you care, or no? 79% of the people said they don't care. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they don't care what the writers and stuff are going through.
Right.
And I got a little sensitive the other day when I saw an actress on TV saying that, what she used to get paid for, when reruns of what she was in would what she would get paid when a rerun would happen, versus now she said she got $20 after like several hundreds of her show reran.
Exactly.
I said 20. She said $20.
$20. So a few years ago, they decided that they didn't want to pay the residuals that they were paying before, because for a while actors were living off of their residuals. Folks like Nichelle Nichols, who were on old Star Trek,
Mm-hmm.
still getting high level of residuals. The way it works out, you whatever your rate is when you first do a show, you get that when it airs. If it airs again, you get that same base amount, and then it would go into a sliding scale. So eventually, for an episode you did, eventually it would get down to $1. These people are trying to make it so that, like, you get paid and then you don't get any more money after that. And that's ridiculous, because the way the producers make money is by running a show and then putting it into syndication and making money like that. So there is a huge disconnect. If the actors and the writers are calling on people to cancel their subscriptions to things like Netflix, etc., I understand why they're saying that, because they want to try to hit these producers and these distribution channels where they are. But if we're not going to be making any more television for a while, people are going to need a distraction, which means that they're probably going to go and spend more money on these sites just to have content to watch. So I don't know how the pain is going to be felt to get people to put pressure on the producing companies, but we have to work together in some way.
I agree. Let me see. Rodney says that way studio heads can upgrade their private jets, and and Blue said they don't care because they don't know the impact of them. Wait until you have until you have to watch reruns all the time. Well, yeah, because Judge Judy takes me out. But I also, before we go, when we were talking about these executives making all this money, they just brought the guy back, and I know some of you on here know who I'm talking about, who works for Disney. They had a guy, and then he was only there for like 2 months or so, a short period, and he left, and they brought his predecessor back, and I heard they paid him $527 million. Yes.
And then they're telling all the writers and actors, we can't pay you anything.
Right. They brought him back for 500, and they said that on a show I saw. Robert Iger is his name. $520 something million. They brought him back. Is,
Wow.
is that almost like $2 million a month, a week, something like that?
If it's 500 million, it's basically 100 million because it's 52 weeks out of the year. So,
Right. Yeah.
mhm,
Oh, right.
mhm.
Okay.
So
There,
it's
there,
100
there you
million
have
a
it.
week.
Well, I stand in
Wow.
solidarity with them, and so I'm gonna, keep my eye on this, and because I think, you know, I kind of feel sorry for them because I'm missing some of the things that I like. Because when they reduced Bridgerton from 12 episodes down to 8, I was feeling some kind of way. So I don't want to be feeling like that because
Right.
I was really waiting for more. But okay, all right. Well, we know that again, greed and stupidity runs a long way, and then you throw entitlement in there, and you come across someone like Eli Crane, okay, GOP congressman representing Arizona's second congressional district. He used racially charged language during a floor debate on yesterday. He said an amendment he proposed to the annual defense bill had nothing to do with colored people. And Republican Joyce Beatty, a black woman, immediately had Crane's words struck from the record.
Mhm,
Okay, I have a
mhm.
couple of things here. First of
Yes,
all,
of
can we
course.
put that picture up of him posing running for office? Can we just do that? Right.
Mhm,
This this is the times that we're living in right now that you can run for office and you can get up there and you can look like this.
mhm.
All right.
It's
So
almost
listen.
better than wearing a suit because the suit says that you're with the establishment. Your tattoo sleeve and baseball cap says, "Look, I'm anti-establishment. I listen to Q. I don't, I'm not oppressed by the man and the shirts."
But if let's see, I was going to say something. But if a person of a different color gets
You
up
mean colored
there,
people?
colored people. Oh, see, if a person of a different background, colored, black person get up there and they have the being down, if you will, with the
Mhm.
braids and the baseball caps or whatever, they're not going to be taken seriously, and I guarantee you they will not get elected.
They would
But
actually get pulled over, stopped, and frisked because they looked suspicious.
for going to work or
Mhm.
even going into Congress.
Or just standing there with their arms closed, posing for a picture for their congressional campaign slogans.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But the second part of this is this person. He said colored people, and I said a couple of weeks ago, and I even posted on my Facebook page with when they were going through all the Supreme Court decisions or whatever. I said, they're trying to take us back to whites only and blacks only, and to have this person in office using language like this.
Hmm.
It, this is 2023.
Hmm. 2023. Right. And boldly, because I watched the clip. It wasn't like he said it and was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." He was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, right.
He just kept on
And
talking.
right, like I said, and
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. See, this is okay. This is why you all have to vote.
Yes.
Okay, you have to vote. Your vote counts. I don't care where you vote, but you
Hmm.
need to vote. Exercise your right to vote. What did Rodney say? As Liz Cheney said recently, this will keep happening as long as people keep electing idiots.
Yes.
Exactly. Hey, Derwin, thank you for joining us tonight. Exactly.
But the thing is,
Exactly.
Rodney, they don't think that they're electing idiots. They think that they're electing people who are so connected with the struggle
Mhm,
and with what is the mainstream of what their society wants.
mhm, mhm,
It's
mhm.
important for us to create a new vision and to get it out there. So, social justice warriors, rise up.
And I promise you, I can't promise how I'm going to react if somebody says, well, I'm an undecided voter. I don't know what I will say to them or do in that moment. So I'm just letting you know right now. So, if wherever I am and I call you and say I need some bail money, just know that it's legitimate. And someone says something stupid like, I'm an undecided voter.
It's like undecided on what?
On
Well,
what?
let me just ask you: is there anyone? And this is totally, off topic. Is there anyone in the, I don't know, in the process of even trying to feel out who's going on that even you might be remotely interested in,
You mean interested in voting for?
or just interested in hearing more from them? I'm not even going to take you to the voting floor because I have
Oh,
someone, but I just want to see if you have anyone.
right now, I'm gonna be honest with you because I think that the Democrats are so scared to just say boo. I want someone like Hakeem Jeffries. I need him up in there.
Okay.
I got my eye on Hakeem Jeffries, and even Cory Booker.
Okay.
I like come up there with some oomph. I'm tired of the Democrats saying, just be cool. That's how I'm picking up on that, and without getting too political on the show, but you asked me, and that's where I am. How about yourself?
I have been seeing things popping across my screen about Marianne Williamson that have made me take a listen because she seems to be saying things that are coming from a place of consciousness, of wokeness, of civic duty, of future leanings. I'm interested to hear what she has to say, and I would like to see her on debate floors.
Okay, okay. Then I think you know what I think we should get together in some of our meetings and talk about that, and I
Mhm.
think that makes way for a great story. Viewers, will you all tune in? So we want to hear if you guys got your eyes on somebody that
Mhm.
you thought that you will look at during this next presidential election, because
Yeah.
because we need somebody,
Hmm.
even if. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care if Biden is on. I don't care if he's in a walker. I am going to walk with him up to that podium and vote. Okay, before I see or vote for someone in there who doesn't care about my fundamental rights as a
Yes.
human being, I am
Yes.
not going to put anybody or vote for anybody going into office to run our country that doesn't give a flying flock about me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just
I
going to say
agree.
that right there. All right. Thank you guys for
Well,
letting me get that out of my system.
hey, I support you 100%. And, we're going to talk about it. I have a feeling that this next election cycle will be very interesting for us because I think we will be talking about these candidates and talking about who we really like and, see if we can get some of them on the show.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to switch gears a little bit because serial child molester, rapist, and former sports physician Larry Nassar got shanked in prison, y'all. Nassar, who was convicted of sexually abusing Olympic and college female gymnasts, got by another inmate at a federal prison in Florida. Staffing shortages may have provided the opportunity for the attack, but most of us all know this is some street justice at work.
Mm-hmm.
So the attack
Mm-hmm.
happened on Sunday at the U.S. Penitentiary Coleman. Nassar was stabbed in the chest and in the back. He's reported to be in stable condition, but I have a feeling that there will be more things like this. I think the inmate may be doing a TikTok tutorial on how to make the shank that was actually used. So some of you may want to go watch that because you never know when you might need a shank. But hey, we'll
I
keep you informed.
I'm not there, but I would. I think Larry Nassar just comes across as somebody that would say, "Do it to me, do it,
Wow.
do it to me." And so this is not somebody who's used to being locked up. You know what I'm saying? Or he's definitely used to just having his way. Clearly,
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So
they
I
said
don't
he
think
may have
he's
said
thinking this
something
way.
lewd or something to somebody. Who knows? You can never believe anything that goes around somebody getting shanked and got up
Right,
in prison because they're going
right,
to say what they need to say to get out of it. But,
exactly.
we all know that there is a code within criminals and within the prison system that you do not touch or mess with children. Anybody going into the prison system who has typically gets got. And you didn't
Yeah.
know that I was as street to be able to say "get got." Ha!
Oh,
I
see,
learned that from Martha Stewart.
Oh, Rodney said he's surprised that he has lasted this long.
Mhm.
I'm kind of with you too, and I say, and I'm gonna go back to what I said. Lasted, meaning he hasn't provoked something, someone to do something to him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah. But as with everyone, I wish you well, Ernest.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
I do. All right. Well, while he's over there in some other security place dealing with security, Prince George's County School Superintendent announces security equipment will be placed on all high schools to improve student safety.
Wow.
Within the first 2 weeks as superintendent of Maryland's second largest school system, Millard House II has said he has driven at least 500 miles within Prince George's County, eaten a lot of really good food, and twice visited the farmers market near the county schools. Um, the Sacker Administrative Building is in Upper Marlboro. And at a press conference briefing on Tuesday, House presented a leadership agenda that highlighted student safety. He announced that all Prince George's high schools and few middle schools will be equipped with security equipment for the upcoming school year. The first day of school is August the 28th. House, who previously led the Houston Independent School District, the eighth largest school district in the country, said the county school board approved security enhancements before he arrived, and he supports it. According to a quote from Communication Technologies Inc. of Chester, Missouri, the equipment costs nearly $523,000.
Wow.
Okay, here's my question to
Yes.
all of you. Should what do you call it? Security cameras and metal detectors and what do you call it? Screening devices be placed in high school and middle school? My answer is yes. My answer is why has it not been done over the last 2 years or being considered as gun violence and some other things attributing to kids bringing guns to school or bringing knives to school and these gang related incidents. All of this has increased in 2 years. I think it should be a mandate that all school, I mean, even from the mass killings alone. Let's go back to what is it, the schools, when President Obama was in office, and the children, what is it, oh my goodness, I just drew a blank. The schools, I think it was one of the largest mass killings that had occurred. And I'm surprised that metal detectors are not at all schools right now. This doesn't seem like brain surgery to me. But some parents are upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge invasion of privacy, and we're only dealing with the symptoms of the issue and not the root causes. It's a lot of money being spent, being sucked out of the education system to cover something that we could resolve with in other ways that would be cheaper and leave everyone more safe.
So
So
so you're saying no, excuse me, you're saying that you don't think that it should happen?
I am not a serious supporter of having all of that security camera, all of that at the schools. I mean, I understand that it's necessary, but it is not dealing with the root cause. It is putting a band-aid onto a situation.
I agree. I can definitely agree with it, putting a band-aid on it because
Mhm.
and let me go back. The incident, the mass shooting that happened when President Obama was in office was the Parkland school shooting.
Mhm.
Let me go back to that. Yeah, that I yeah, that was horrific. But I think that first of all, part of the band-aiding or taking care of the problem, it needs to start at home. It needs to start at home. So however that can be combat or dealt with, that is a very difficult situation to deal with because it starts at home with the parent
Mhm.
to a large degree. And if your 6-year-old child, for example, as we've learned this year, is coming to school with a gun and you don't know about it,
Right.
that is a problem for me. That is a huge problem. It is a parental problem. It is something that's happening at home that the education system can't go into your home.
Well, I mean, let's just even jump back to the conversation earlier about people leaving their kids in cars, being so stressed, being so overworked, being so distracted that they leave their children in the car. That means that parents aren't spending as much time with their kids. They're not talking to their kids. They're not instilling in their kids certain values and responsibilities and feeding their souls and loving them in such a way that they don't feel like they need to go out and kill someone else. So we have multiple signals that something is going on with the way we as a country are supporting our parents and the parents are supporting their children. We need to look at that. We need to really, truly look at that, break it apart, make it make sense, and then resolve it. I mean, we just have to.
Wow. I love me some Vash Boddie, but this is one of them times where I'm looking at you going, oh, I can't, I just don't agree with, I just don't agree with all that you said, but that's why we have this show and we do what we do what we do. Yeah, but it is a very difficult situation. There's a lot that parents can't do. I don't know what's going to happen once they put them in the school system, but a lot of parents feel the way you do. Also to that, beginning this year in Maryland, all kids have to come to school with a see-through backpack. And that's getting more, pushback from parents than, putting the metal detectors in there. Now my child has to show everything that's in his or her bag before they go in. So, it's huge. It is pretty huge. So, so, guys, viewers, if you guys got any input in that, let us know. We definitely want to hear from you. But
Rodney said that he has a great nephew in middle school who was occasionally anxious about going to school. And that is rough because a school is supposed to be a safe space. One should look forward to going to school. And then Tammy said that one of her third graders brought a gun to school and she had no support from admin. And that's, again, crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Tammy, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say I'm sorry. So Tammy, you're an educator. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, it used to be, for sure.
Okay. Gosh, that's terrible. All right. Yeah. Well, more to come with that. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, Keke Palmer, this is another story that we covered. We said we would update. Keke Palmer is beginning to appear and speak out after Ushergate and her partner, Darius Jackson, who has gotten roasted by the internet. Keke's out there living her best life. She says that having her child has given her a newfound love and appreciation for her body and the confidence to rock it. She is giving props to all the mothers who rallied in her defense, saying to them in Instagram posts and on the internet, saying, "Do you, new moms, do you?" Now, supporters of Palmer have called Jackson insecure and criticized him for trying to control Palmer's behavior. On the flip, Jackson's supporters have asked us to look at this situation in a different way. They say, if it had been him grinding up on a female performer, would everyone have been okay with that, telling her not to try to control him? We don't think so, do we? So Palmer has yet to publicly respond to Jackson's tweets about her doing what she was doing, but she did share a cryptic message on TikTok where you can see her mouthing the words, "You ain't stopping what's going on with me, sweetheart. So if you about to act up, I'm about to link up." Now, she has not said this, but you can see her mouthing it. I have a feeling that we are going to be seeing more and more of Keke Palmer.
And I'm here for Keke Palmer. I'm definitely here for Keke Palmer. And before we move on, I just want to say, going back to our last comment or our last story, Rodney said that a lot of these kids are coming from a household where parenting, where parenting is not going on. They go and come as they are. Where parenting is not going on.
Right, exactly.
And right, and Kendall, Kendall supports me. Thank you, Kendall. But he said, you the next. He said, Kendall. And look who's on here, Silver Logan Sharp.
Hey, beautiful
baby, you put on a performance last Sunday.
I saw clips from Alvin King, and you were rocking the house.
Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. You know, he said loved you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And you know, I just think that Keke Palmer, this whole thing with them, first of all, it's going to get messy. You know what I'm saying? First of all, he shouldn't have said it publicly. He should have gone to his woman, baby, or whatever, how you go to him and say, you know what, that just don't look good. So I don't know what he had hoped to accomplish from doing that. I also agree with you. As I said last week, if he was grinding up on some chick, you know, and doing that, you know, the female masses would have been on him. You're a dog, you're dirty, low down, whatever. Keke, I know you're famous, boo, but sometimes you can be quiet and be famous. You don't have to RSVP to every argument.
Exactly. And as Silver said, he drove a nail in his own foot.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah, yes, he did. Well, the book is coming out, Keke and Darius. Okay, next month.
With an animated series.
With an animated series, we got a baby. Okay, it's coming out next month.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about celebrities, okay, I'm just gonna ask you, was it or was it not? Okay, but according to TMZ, first of all, if Jamie Foxx is up and moving around, praise the Lord. I'm so happy because I really miss this actor. I love his work. I adore his work, and I do miss him. And I just hope that whatever medical situation he's going through, that he's going to pull out of it. But according to TMZ this week, they got the first glimpse of him since his hospitalization. He appeared to be accompanied by a few others on board a boat as well. And at the first glance, it seems there were some other members of his family around. They, of course, have been by his side during this whole ordeal. And, you know, they've been visiting him in rehab and whatnot in Chicago. So he's still in rehab for whatever's happening. But, you know, with all this AI stuff going on, was that at Jamie Foxx or was it not?
I think it was him because word is that he's out and working on the Luther Vandross biopic picture, which is, you know, sort of odd. You know, I'm thrilled that someone would be doing a picture about Luther. He was an amazing talent, living an amazing life, and was an amazing inspiration. But, you know, I'm interested to see who's going to be playing him.
Right. Or is it a biopic, or is it? I thought from my takeaway from it was that it was going to be a documentary. So they were going to kind of, you know, talk about his story and his life. And they probably had some footage and do some, you know, they're going to go in on his personal life, I'm assuming. It depends on what station is on. If it's on, you know.
It is a documentary. It's Jamie Foxx and Colin Firth are to produce the first ever documentary on Luther Vandross. So it is a documentary.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, if it's on the Discovery Channel, they're going to go in. But if it's on some other channels, that they may not go in as far as some of, you know, the things that our culture knows.
Which you know.
Say what?
What you know.
I
did spend Thanksgiving one year with Luther's main choreographer and got some stories. That was lovely.
One of my travel buddies knew Luther, and you know,
in a very special he said.
I wouldn't say it was a rumor, but that's what he told me. Okay. And I am looking forward to seeing, and there was so much more to Luther than who he dated, slept with, whatever. I get it. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm very interested to see how Jamie brings all this to fruition. I'm sure he's going to do a good job.
I think so too.
I know okay. And you know, okay. Well, before Jamie, get better. But before we leave the track, baby, come on. Let's talk about Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay, she is back on the field and she is killing it. I mean, she's back. She's looking good. She's got rid of that, that look of the colored hair now. She's, going natural. She spoke on that. And, but what's getting attention right now was what she tweeted about the ESPYs. She said the ESPYs invited me when my life was in shambles as if I was a charity case. The 23-year-old wrote, the disrespect that track and field receives in the USA alone is nasty. Half of the athletes there now could not do what we do on our worst day. She's back. Okay, okay, and talking loud. But I can say as much as she's talking loud, she can back it up. Okay, because she is killing the track right now. Killing it.
I just love that she has had an evolution. I saw her on the starting blocks where she showed up with her colored hair. We can say colored hair, but not colored people.
Not colored people.
She had her hair on, and before she got down into the blocks, she ripped it off to reveal her natural hair. And I thought, go on, girl.
Wait a minute. She did that on the track?
She did that on the track. She ripped it off. Yeah, go on, girl. Yes.
How come that didn't make news? Because I got to go look at it because see that right there, that would have been a moment for me. I would still be stuck on my bed or on the floor laughing at that because I did not see that. Oh, that was good, but I didn't know that.
It was dope. Okay, it was really dope. It was her coming out and just saying, "Here I am. I'm back. I'm better, and I'm gonna be faster because I ain't taking all the synthetic hair with me that's dragging me down."
Well, and we're always guilty by association when we do something, especially when we're spectacular. And, to make, she's showing you she's better than her weed, not weave, weed. Okay.
You can say anything you want because she's better than all of it.
She's better than all of it. And she's proven it. But,
yes,
I respect her for calling out, the ESPYs for, like she said, when she was a charity case, she was, I want to put you on, when they thought she was a charity case, I want to put you on display. As she put it, she was at one of her weakest moments. And so, wow, that kind of have inspired my words of the week this week. But before we go, before I get to that, you guys, I just want to say real quick, a quick plug. See these mugs here? These he said mug. A lot of you have asked about them. These are going to be on sale. They will be a nice, a wonderful price. I want you all to get a he said mug, okay? And take a picture of it and send it in to us, especially those of our viewers who are on here every day. And Monica, get Oscar a mug too. Okay, so you got to get two, Monica, when you get it. But our mugs will be available coming soon. We will let you guys know. We missed Bobby this week. Okay.
Yes, Bobby, we did miss you. We missed you a whole lot. We did.
Bobby, I know you're watching. You're going to say something. All right. But Sha'Carri has inspired, like I said, my words of the week for this week. We give too many people the power to lower our vibrations. Stand true to your own frequency. All right. And I know some of you all received that, so don't pass the plate here. Just buy a mug, okay? Just buy a mug if you get a chance. So, thank you, Vash, for a great show tonight.
It was awesome hanging out and two-stepping with you. It's I love talking to you and sharing our conversations with everybody who wants to tune in.
Yeah, beauty. You guys share. He said with somebody and let them know that we're on every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a great week, and we'll see you on the next episode of He Said.
He said.
He said. Good night.